Hey guys, I'm back and I want to talk about Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This is the first book by her that I've read, and I'm very excited based on my experience with this book to read at least two of her other novels. One is Half a Yellow Sun, the other is Americana. Anyway, back to Purple Hibiscus. Purple Hibiscus is a coming-of-age story of a young 15-year-old girl living in Nigeria with her family. Her name is Kambili. Her brother's name is Jaja, and they live with her parents, Beatrice and Eugene. Eugene is a wealthy businessman. He's also dialed into the political powers that be in Nigeria. He also is an editor of the newspaper, or owns the newspaper, as well as a very religious man and one who is very well thought of by the Catholic Church. Eugene is a very controlling man. He really is, and he oppresses his family. He is someone that takes his Catholicism very seriously, and he also believes that his children should be strictly controlled and disciplined. So Kambili, at 15, when she should be really sort of finding her own voice and coming into her own as a woman, is struggling to speak above a whisper. She doesn't have any idea that she is allowed to have any opinions, and therefore oftentimes doesn't have any because she's just too afraid to even think about it. The mother is very quiet and very docile. The son is the least docile, but they all kowtow. They all bow down to the father, metaphorically speaking, because he's a tyrant, basically. Anyway, this is how we meet Kambili, as a very quiet young woman who has not found her voice, rigidly controlled, afraid, fearful, unopinionated, unsophisticated in many ways, but extremely intelligent and just ripe for those seeds to grow. Luckily for us as the reader, and for Kambili as the character, she's able to go and stay, she and her brother, with her father's sister, Auntie Iforma. Auntie Iforma is everything her brother isn't. She is not controlled at all. She seems very liberal. She's sort of loud. She cooks wonderfully smelly, spicy food. She encourages her children to talk and to sing and to have opinions and to go out and to just be free. And you can imagine Kambili and her brother coming into this environment and being so afraid of what their father would think if he knew they were off their schedule, and being almost afraid of Auntie Iforma's household because it's so foreign from their own. And also, I think, being excited about it as well, because there's something so wonderfully tempting about seeing that freedom and just starting to imagine a little taste of it. It's a really great story about Kambili coming into her own, or not, I won't say, which actually happens. The book is very much about Kambili's journey. Mixed in with that is obviously the story of the conflict within Kambili's family. Her father is a very cruel man that manifests itself in various ways. There's a political situation going on in Nigeria at the time that is definitely alluded to and actually spoken about verbatim in the book. What else do I want to say? There's not much else I can say beyond that in terms of plot and character without giving away some very spoilery things. So I'll leave it at that. But I would say that in addition to being this story about Kambili and her family and the way she's been raised, intersecting with her kind of learning more about how her aunt operates in the world, it's also about Kambili being raised this strict Catholic, and that intersecting and clashing with the Igbo tribe that she's a part of but doesn't really understand about, but coming to understand that what that is when she's over with her aunt. And it's definitely about that as well. The other thing for me that I want to say about Purple Hibiscus is that I believe on another level, which isn't really super subtle or anything, because I don't think I'm that clever sometimes when I'm reading, But what the book also was about for me was about what happens when an imperialistic power has gone into a country and civilized it, brought their Western style religions into this country. What happens to the country? What happens to the people? What happens to the traditions? And what we can see from Purple Hibiscus is that people react in very different ways. In the case of Cambili's Auntie Eforma, she took the best of both worlds. She took parts of the Catholic faith that she liked and what she enjoyed as a lecturer working for the University of Nigeria and some of the freedoms she had to speak out about this or that. And she juxtaposed that with her Igbo ways, her tribal ways, her music, her food. And so she didn't split herself in half. What she did was she created this wonderful hybrid for herself. And on the other hand, Cambili's father, who's a very hateful man, a really horrible man. Cambili's father, to me anyway, Cambili's father has done the opposite. He has rejected his culture. He has rejected his music. He has rejected his art. He has rejected his religion. He has rejected himself as Igbo, and he has tried to become something. I don't know what it would be. I guess the ideal Catholic, the ideal Western style Nigerian businessman. And in doing so, he has really created a situation which, by rejecting his culture, he's actually inadvertently rejecting himself, because you are your culture, you are how you're raised, you are your tribe, you are your traditions. And so I thought there was a very interesting conversation that people reading the book might have about those themes, because I look forward to seeing if there's more of that in her other work, but I definitely felt it here in Purple Hibiscus. Beautiful story, very poetic, beautifully written, wonderful descriptions. You will be transported to Nigeria. You will be so hungry when you are reading some of these food scenes. At least I was. I could smell the spice. It was really tripping me out. I think you'll really love the book if you give it a try. So please do. And Stephen, please say something about the book, just because we all want to hear what you have to say. It'll probably be so much more profound than how I just babbled on. But anyway, finally, Purple Hibiscus. Go out and get it from your library. If you're lucky and you buy a copy, then you can leave all your little flags in there. Anyway, coming up next, something very exciting, an author project. I'm going to go in depth with an author, well-known author, woman author. I'm going to go in depth. I'm going to read her work in chronological order. I'm going to do some cool stuff around the author. And hopefully I'm going to get some people on board with it. I hope so. If not, I'll do it and I'll videotape it, and maybe you guys will be interested. And hopefully I might get some other people to sign up. I think it'd be cool if a bunch of us were all reading this author's work. I'm super excited because I am a virgin when it comes to her work. Haven't read her before. Can't wait. I guess I just know I'm going to love it, because I'd be taking a chance doing an author project on somebody that I didn't like. Anyway, I know I'm going to love her. That's it. Purple Hibiscus. Exciting announcement coming up soon. See you guys later. Thanks for subscribing.